we good?
Yes. Third time's a shot.
Damn right.
Leave this in.
Let's do this. I'm Jake, he's DeAndre, that's Sasha, Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's go.
Welcome to the third episode. He said it. Let's go. Ultimate Spider-Man. So, again, for the third time. Ultimate Spider-Man. Spider-Man decided to do that because it's one of the three big names in comics. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Wanted to do Wonder Woman, couldn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on. So, in 2000, Marvel was going through some problems because of the 90s. In the 90s, there was a big comic boom. What was called the speculators market was basically, so you know like how Action Comics #1, first appearance of Superman, that sells for like really big money because it's really rare and it's the first appearance of Superman. So basically, the 90s collectors got it into their mind that, oh, you know, we can make a lot of money off of just first appearances of characters. Except for the problem was that it has to be like groundbreaking characters that are like, that change the very fabric of comics. Not just random, not just like Bloodsport and Blood Demon and various other blood-based comic book characters. And also, the thing about Action Comics #1 is there was only like 100 of them made in 1938. So they're very, very rare.
Wow.
I didn't realize it was that little.
Yeah. And all comics, just in general, suffered from this speculator boom, where basically they just printed off a bunch of comic books that nobody was fucking buying them. So, and Marvel was hit by this, probably the worst. The 90s were not kind to Marvel. Well, actually, the early 90s were very kind to Marvel. The late 90s were not very kind to Marvel. So the new CEO at the time, I think he was the president, I forget what his name is, I'll put it somewhere around here, decided we need to get people buying our comics. Why is there not a Spider-Man movie? And, you know, the heads of Marvel were like, well, I think we sold the rights to that to someone.
We were really desperate.
Yeah.
Money tweets.
We don't really have the rights to that anymore. What about Fantastic Four? We also sold the rights to that. What about the X-Men?
Well.
Real.
Fox has that, and they're like making some movies that we're not really getting much residual. Anyway, so basically, we need to get people. We need to start making some movies, and we need to start getting people to read these fucking comic books. So what they did was they made imprints. One of them was Max. So you got like Punisher Max, Daredevil Max. It's comic books that may or may not be in continuity with the mainstream Marvel continuity. If they do well, hey, put them in. Why not?
Yeah.
They're basically rated R comic books.
Nice.
Another one that they came up with later was the Ultimate series, which started with Ultimate Spider-Man #1, which was basically the brainchild of Brian Michael Bendis, who is, if you're a comic book person, he's like one of the biggest names in comic books.
That is a very big name.
Yeah. Before he was ruining Superman, he was making a bunch of shit for Marvel. And one of the first big things he made was Ultimate Spider-Man. So basically, it's basically just, what if Spider-Man was made in modern day? And by modern day, I mean like early to mid 2000s. So there's a lot of...
Compared to what?
Compared to Spider-Man from 1963, when he was created.
A little different.
I don't know if it's 1960s. So you're gonna see some differences. Like, instead of a radioactive spider, because in the 1960s, radiation stuff was kind of big. We were going through like a little bit of a Cold War. In this, it's all about biological weapons. So the spider isn't a radioactive spider; it's a biologically engineered spider.
Okay.
So let's start. So we basically open with Peter Parker. We open with the spider that's being tested on, but it's just a picture. We open with Peter Parker, and he's getting bullied. He's at lunch. He's getting bullied by Flash Thompson, who is his classic teenage bully character who grows up to be Agent Venom in the mainstream continuity. In this, not so much. I don't think he really does much in the Ultimate Universe. But he's getting bullied. We're just in the lunchroom with a bunch of different people. We're introduced to his Flash's friend Kong, who's another bully, who actually does become, like, he actually takes the role of what Flash is in the mainstream continuity. Because in the mainstream continuity, Flash starts out as a bully for Peter Parker, but he loves Spider-Man, and he eventually, like, it's like, I love Spider-Man so much, I'm gonna go join the military so I could do something right in the world. And he just grows and becomes a nicer guy, all around pretty good, cool guy. And Kong, in this, kind of takes that role. He doesn't join the military or anything. The Ultimate Universe has a very unsatisfying ending, but the beginning is pretty good.
Okay.
Spider-Man is getting bullied. We're introduced to, Mary Jane, Liz Allen. They're all just, seeing this guy getting ridiculed. Classic Spider-Man stuff.
Just high school things.
Yeah. We are also introduced to his uncle, Uncle Ben. You ever heard of him? Uncle Ben?
Maybe.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, and he's like, he gives the bullies, like, they weren't at lunch, they're at, like, the mall, I think. And he's like, hey, Peter, how's it going? Picking you up from the mall. Isn't that Mary Jane over there? They used to be friends, why don't you invite her over? And he's like, we're not, she's kind of, like, more popular now. I'm kind of, it's like, and Uncle Ben's like, invite her over. Hey, Mary, come over here.
Just great.
Good old Ben.
Yeah, and they just shoot the shit for a little bit, and then we cut to in school. Peter's still getting bullied. It's just classic nerd stuff. We're introduced to Harry Osborn, and here's a note for historical purposes. In the original continuity, this is something that a lot of adaptions will get wrong or change, but Harry Osborn and Mary Jane were not friends with Peter in high school. So he did not know Mary Jane and Harry until he was going into college. It's just a little fun fact that they've taken elements of Spider-Man and just crushed them down into what you know. Because everybody knows Mary Jane. She's Spider-Man's basically his most popular love interest, and everybody knows Harry Osborn is his best friend. Just put him in high school. Forget it. It'll be fine. So then we cut to Peter with his aunt and uncle. They're having dinner, and they're just, having a nice basic dinner. They're talking about Peter's father a little bit. Just a nice family dinner. Just nothing really is going on. Nothing really happens. It's just setting up all the characters at the beginning. Peter, he's a nerd, but he's friends with Harry, who's kind of popular. He's like, they kind of draw him to be like the mysterious kid.
Just a little.
He's like James Dean-ish. Yeah, if you know James Dean, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry invites Peter to his father's work, because his father's Norman Osborn. We cut to Harry meeting with his father, Norman Osborn. He's like, "Hey, Dad, what's going on? You're yelling on your phone about something. Hey, I want to invite my friend to your lab. Is that cool?" And Norman is like, "Why are you talking to me?"
Good old dad. Pops.
Yeah, thus setting up Norman as kind of a piece of shit, deadbeat dad. Well, he's not a deadbeat because he still lives with him, but like he's
Emotionally
nothing
not
to do
there.
with
yeah, he's a dick. So he then cut to they're having a class trip to Osborn's lab. I guess Harry didn't invite him. They were going on a class trip, but he was talking to him about, hey, my friends are coming to see your lab tomorrow. He just wanted to connect with them. That's what the scene was. But he wouldn't because he's a dick.
Dad's a dick.
We get a little bit of explanation. Hey, this is we're bioengineer labs. We do a lot of experimental shit here. And while they're going through, see Peter and MJ, Peter gets bit by the spider. Blah blah blah. You know what happens. And the spider, he screams and it bites him and it lands on MJ and it almost bites her, but she knocks it off of her, and then Kong smashes it and it dies. And Peter falls unconscious.
Like instantly?
He
within the minute,
he
falls over?
Basically, it's implied that it's affecting him immediately, the spider bite.
And everyone's still judging this dude while he's passing out on the floor.
Yeah,
They're like, look at this loser!
Yeah, he's got hit by a bioengineered spider fucking fainting like a bitch. So anyway, he's alright. They go home. And he's got a cast, which, as we learned from Superman last week, is just a great way to get women to pay attention to you. So it all worked out. We cut to Norman, and he's talking to his underlings. Hey, someone during that tour got bit. Hopefully they don't sue us. But also the specimen. Norman's like, yeah, but what about the specimen? What about the spider? It was crushed and it died. The assistant is like, yeah, but again, the legal thing about one of your I don't care about the legal. You're one of my lawyers. Just have one of my lawyers deal with it.
Take care of it.
I'm more concerned about the spider.
Who is that other guy there? Is that who I think it is, or is that just
No. That's just some other bald dude. That's not
some very chunky bald dude.
Yeah, that's not the Kingpin.
Okay. I was like, wait, what?
Norman's like, I want to keep an eye on the kid because something could happen with the spider.
Okay.
And that's his only concern. Cut to basically the next day. Peter's still getting harassed by the bullies. They have this game where they come up to him and kick him, he doesn't even have a kick me sign. They just want to kick him.
So lazy.
They just want to kick him. And this time, when Kong tries to kick him, Peter catches him and flips him over and throws him on his face.
Oof.
He's just sensed it somehow, like a spider sense of some sort.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And he falls unconscious again because I guess the powers are just coming onto him too strong.
It's worse than COVID.
So he goes to the doctor, and the doctor's just trying to take some tests on him. His arm tenses up when they try to take his blood, basically showing that his body is this thing is having an effect. It's very weird. He doesn't, and I don't know what's going on. But they do eventually take his blood, and the blood is stolen by that one bald dude that was one of Norman's cronies. And they basically examine it, and they see that there's something going on with his fucking blood. We need to keep an eye on this kid. There's something weird going on. So much so that Norman sends the crony after him, and he tries to hit him with his car to see what happens, just to test. And
just a little fun game.
And Peter, his spider sense goes off again, and he jumps over the fucking car, and the guy crashes, and he pulls out his gun, and Peter's like,
no. Peter
tries to run over and help him, because he doesn't know that he tried to attack, hit him with a car. So he tries to run over and attack him, and the guy pulls out his gun, and Peter doesn't see it, but he just gets it. He gets another spider sense tingle, and he just runs away. So the guy calls Norman. He's like, "Hey, he like jumped over the car, and he also like he didn't see me or anything, but he like just knew that I was trying to hit him with my car. Do you want me to go after him and kill him?" And Norman's like, "No, you idiot! I want to. No, abort. Come back here. I want to study this kid. Like, there's something going on with that fucking spider. Like, obviously,
Science.
for the science, man."
Yeah.
So Peter goes home and he's like, "Okay, I'm a scientist. Something's going on. I was bit by a spider. I just jumped over a fucking car. Something's going on. I need to experiment." So he does. He takes his blood. He researches Oscorp. He researches that spider. He looks at his own blood. He's like, no way. There's no way that
Something's fishy here.
something weird's going on. Unfortunately, he did that during a school day. And he spent the entire day in his basement experimenting on himself, figuring out, not in the sexual way, figuring out what's going on. Yeah. So, Aunt May and Uncle Ben, they're pissed off at him because he skipped an entire day of school without any notice or anything. And he basically is like, "Look, I never do anything wrong. Like, I missed one fucking day of school and you're on my case about it," which, I don't know how your parenting style is. I could see his point, but I can also see their point.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fair enough, but you can't just like skip school without any notice or anything. And he accidentally he's backed up against the wall, and he accidentally he has his hand against the wall, and he accidentally like rips pieces of the wall out of the wall, and he's like, "I gotta go. Yep, you're right. I'm gonna go upstairs and be punished."
I'm a bad kid.
Yep, and to their credit, Aunt May and Uncle Ben, they're mad, but they're like, it's, he's a good kid. He did something wrong, but it's no big deal.
Yeah.
More irritated than anything.
Yeah, they clearly know that he clearly knows he did something wrong. He's a teenager. What can you do?
Yeah.
So Peter, wakes up. He went to bed, but he wakes up and he's like, I can't sleep. So he decides to experiment some more, and you'll see in this that there's a lot of shots of just the shots. There's no dialogue in them because you don't need to know. Like, you get it. Like, he's crawling up the wall for the first time. He's like, "Okay, I ripped that out of the wall. What happens if I try crawling?" And he crawls on top of the wall, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm a fucking spider. I'm a spider dude. I have spider powers." And I like Brian Michael Bendis has this weird thing where he writes a lot of dialogue, like, all the time. Like, there's just paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. And usually in comics, it's usually not... It depends on the writer, but it's usually not too extensive with the dialogue, really. Brian Michael Bendis does, like, a bunch of it, but in some scenes, he doesn't do any at all, because it's just, you understand what's going on when he's climbing up the wall. Like, you don't need a big thing to explain that. So Peter, next day, he's feeling nervous, because his body's still going through weird changes with this spider thing, and he's just jittery all the time. And, like... He's so jittery, and his body is like going through pains that he fucking breaks his desk because of it. And the bullies are like, "What a freak! This guy breaking his desk," and it's like,
They're just
picking on
jealous.
kid right now.
I don't think that he just threw your friend over, like, flipped him around just earlier, and now he just broke a fucking desk by himself. I don't know if that's the guy you want to fuck with anymore.
Yeah, maybe stop picking on this one.
But they still do because they're idiots. Peter goes to the bathroom and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm fucking Jack now." It's like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man. Like when he first like looks in the mirror, it's like, "Oh, where did that come from?"
Yeah.
So let me flex on those.
They're playing basketball in gym. Flash is hitting on Mary Jane. She's not feeling it. And Peter throws the basketball at him. And basically, Flash is like, "Do you want to fight? You want to fight, bro?"
Bro.
He doesn't say bro. I'm saying bro. But that's basically the feel of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'll fight you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Why not?
After school, we're going to fight."
Look at these muscles I got.
Yeah, so they fight. They go after school. They fight, and Peter's just dodging everything because the spider senses are making him more agile. They're, Flash is just just looks like an idiot, and Peter, he puts his hand out to block, which ends up breaking Flash's hand
Oh my gosh.
because of the sheer force. That's just like it's like he just like punched a brick wall.
Didn't give it all.
Yeah. And,
Oh man.
yeah, so Peter, that's the first lesson of Peter has to learn, hey, you got superpowers now.
You're
You
stupid strong.
Yeah, you gotta be more careful. So then we cut to Kong is at Harry's house, and he's telling Harry, like, dude, Parker, like, fucking broke Flash's hand. And Harry's like, Peter did? My friend Peter broke Flash's hand?
Little Peter Parker.
Yeah. And Norman's in the corner listening, and he's Kong leaves, and Norman's like, "Hey, son, you're my son, right? Yeah, you. That was my house.
Finally coming around.
Hey, so do you want to like come over to my lab this weekend? You know, you can spend some time together. That's what fathers do with their son, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what fathers do with their son. Bring one of your friends. Bring that Peter kid you hang out with.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
That Peter kid.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. Also, don't bring that Peter kid. That's really important.
I don't
So
care about any of that.
Harry's like, yeah, I'd love to, Dad, because you're my fucking father, and I want to spend time with you.
He said, "Oh my God, attention."
Yeah. So obviously Norman is just like he wants Peter to come to his lab.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the Parker house. Ben's just gotten off the phone about Peter breaking Flash's hand. And it's like, what the fuck is going on, kid? Like,
Ditching school,
Ditching school.
breaking people's hands.
ditching school is one thing. You just this is not a breaking bones family.
That is where I draw the line.
We do not have the funds to be paying for other kids' bones to be fucking breaking.
Yeah.
We don't have the money to be paying for our fucking broken bones. So he grounds him. And Peter's, Peter is a teenager. He's yelling at them. He's like blaming them for stuff that's his own fault because he's a kid. And they're like, I don't know what's going on with him. He's a good kid. Like, why is he acting out like this? Like, we get he's a teenager, but like, this is not the kid we raised. And Peter feels bad about it. But he wakes up again because his body is still aching from the spider thing. And he goes to an abandoned warehouse in town, and he just...
Spiders around.
Yeah, he just jumps around and...
I wish I could go to an abandoned warehouse when I was grounded.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 3 a.m. and he just snuck out. So you could have, if you liked.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Next time.
And yeah, he jumps around and take his mind off of things.
Okay.
Parkour.
And he lifts up a car just to test his strength, and he's like, I have the strength of a fucking spider. But then his hand starts hurting, he's like, what the fuck is happening?
Cramp!
Yeah, like, he's just like his body's just like still accumulating and adapting to this. Next morning, he goes down. He's like, "I'm sorry. Like, I'm being a dick. I didn't mean to break that kid's fucking hand, and I don't mean to be a dick to you because you two are awesome."
I love you guys.
Yeah. But
Thank you for putting up with me.
Yeah, but he's more sincere than Jake was just now. So anyway, we cut to the weekend. Harry had brought Peter with him because that was important. Bring Peter with you. That's
Oh, the Peter kid.
yeah. And he takes him through tour, and we get introduced to Dr. Otto Octavius, who works there.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know what that was for. That it's just a doctor.
Yeah.
Just head
whatever.
nerd, you know.
And
tick.
Otto Octavius is like explaining what they do. Hey, we experiment on animals, and we got some bunnies here. Look at the bunny. Isn't that interesting? And then he takes his blood. He takes out a syringe and takes his blood.
Bruh.
And Peter's like,
That's rude and also
you can spider
mine.
sense over a car, but you can't spider sense away from a
well,
needle, Peter.
he did sense it. He just didn't react.
Weird.
It was just too late, I guess.
Yeah.
He said, "Is this really about to happen?" "Oh yeah, this is really about to happening. Got it."
And he basically runs away because he was just stabbed with a needle.
Yeah.
So Norman,
Well, he did.
yeah, and Harry tries to run after him, but he's run away. Norman and Osborne, and I think Norman's lawyer guy or assistant are looking over the blood, and they're basically like, "Can we make more? Because like this has had an effect on this kid. Can we like duplicate this?" And it's like, we need to duplicate this. We need to start experimenting on this blood, and that's what happens. And he presents these findings to like his board, and they're like, we're gonna ignore the problems with you trying to experiment on this kid, and basically the entire thing is he wants to start experimenting with the thing they used in the spider is called Oz, and he wants to start experimenting it on himself.
Interesting.
Norman Osborn wants to start using it on himself.
Okay.
And they're like, "That's fucking crazy." It's like, yes, it is crazy. Just crazy enough to work.
Mad.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy. He's a crazy man. The kids, Mary Jane and Liz Allen and all of Peter's
Peeps.
Classmates.
classmates, they go to a wrestling show.
Hey.
Yeah. There's this guy named Crusher Hogan who's like, get in the ring. Not
Bonesaw?
Not Bonesaw, Crusher Hogan.
I would see that match.
Yeah, Bonesaw, played by Macho Man.
Oh yeah, I got you for 5 minutes.
Yep.
Calm down, Mrs. Elizabeth.
I hate that because that's also my middle name.
Anyway, so basically, Crusher Hogan, he's like, get in the ring with me for 5 minutes. We'll give you get in the ring with me for 5 minutes. We'll give you however much money, like $500 or something. I don't remember.
No steel cage this round.
Yeah, it was $500. No. Kong is like, hey, I'll get in the ring with him, and the promoter's like, no, you're too young. Like, you have to be legal age. First, Flash is like, hey, Cutie Parker, get in there. How will you get in there? It's like, Flash, I don't want to have to break another one of your fucking things. Peter, he gets the idea. All right, I'm gonna dress up and do it myself and get some money. I can't go as myself because I'm too young, but I'll get in a costume. And he puts on this prototype
Pretty familiar looking.
Costume looks kind of weird, but, you know, looks like a spider costume. It's a prototype spider costume. And he goes to the event. He wrestles Crusher Hogan for a little bit. Kong's like, fuck, I should have thought of that. Like, that's clearly a kid.
That's funny.
But, like, he's wearing a mask. I should have thought of that. So Peter fights Crusher Hogan. He fucking throws him.
Over the top rope.
Yeah, he slams him, and he wins, using his spider strength.
Yay!
And he basically is like, alright, give me my $500.
Money, please.
And the promoter's like, hey, like, do you want, like, a job? He's like, I don't want a job because I don't want to have to reveal my identity, but if you'll give me money every time for this, sure, I'll do that. I'll just come in and
Work a match. Get out.
work a match, get the crowd hype, collect my paycheck at the end of the day,
Why not?
and that'll be that.
Okay.
And he uses that money to give to Uncle Ben to pay for Flash's hand.
Aww.
Well, I'm glad he's trying to right some of his wrongs.
Yeah.
At least against Uncle Ben and Aunt May.
Yeah. Not to Flash, whose hand he broke.
No, because if a bully gets his hand broke because he's being a bully, fine, whatever. But if Spider-Man's costing Aunt May and Uncle Ben money, even though they're kind people and they shouldn't have to pay for that, at least his family's not going into worse debt, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Reap what you sow, I suppose.
I don't think you should break a bully's hand to make that point. But
He didn't know how strong he was. He just said, whoa, stop. And the Flash was the one that was like going super speed, you know?
All he did was block.
Yeah. He
Fair
should
enough.
protect himself.
Alright, so then the next day, Peter's talking to Mary Jane. The coach for the basketball team comes up and is like, hey, Flash, you can't play anymore. Your fucking hand's broken. And Flash is like, but I want to play. It's like, yeah, but your hand is kind of important for basketball, so you can't play. And Peter is basically like, I'll play. Sure, I'll play.
Why not?
And the coach is like, sure, we just need someone to fill out the team. And then Peter plays the game, and he fucking is Kobe Bryanting. Getting score after score after score, and he's like the best fucking basketball player ever. And
Greatest thing high school sports has ever seen.
That's what happens when you have spider powers.
I suppose.
You're playing basketball. So everybody cheers him. Mary Jane's like, hot.
Hot. Me likey.
Mary Jane tries asking him out, like, hey, you wanna, like, she's like subtle about it. It's like, do you wanna hang out? And Peter's like, I mean, I want to, but like, not only do I have like a side job that he doesn't tell her about, but like, he's like, I'm kind of busy with like basketball, but in reality, he's going to wrestle.
He's gonna go
And
practice.
Mary Jane's like, fine, whatever. I'll just leave then. It's like, money before bitches. I can't blame him. You know, gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
$500 is calling.
Yeah.
So he goes to wrestle Hogan some more, and they give him the name the Amazing Spider-Man, and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and so that's how he becomes Spider-Man.
Interesting. It was given to him.
He also wins the championship. So he's the champion in the
He's
UCW.
Oh.
What happens next is they're in the locker room, and Peter's like talking to Hogan. It's like, hey, Spider Dude, could you maybe like not fucking hurt me? Like, it's wrestling. We're not actually supposed to be hurting each other.
Look out for your opponent.
Like, I'll do the job for you, but maybe don't slam me down with all your might, with your incredible might.
Help me out, brother.
Yeah. The promoter's like, hey, dude, you're out of here. Here's your money. Get the fuck out of here. You're costing me way too much money. He's like, you're firing me? It's like, well, you don't have a job. So yeah, like you did your part. You got people hyped. They're watching. Now, here's your money. Get out of here.
Sad.
Which, you know, I feel like that's kind of fair. He gives him a costume, and he basically tells him, I can't employ you because you won't tell me your identity. And
He said HIPAA don't exist yet. Who are you?
yeah, like, I can only pay you like this, and like...
Maybe if I knew your name, you could get extra $100. Let's go.
Yeah, so he gives him a new costume, is basically what happens.
Okay.
And Peter's like, I'm not telling you who I am. And he's like, fine, whatever. Gives him a new costume, and it looks more like the Spider-Man costume without the webbing and the spider logo on it.
Did he end up getting all the money to pay off Flash's stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's well past. He's just getting money now.
Okay.
Like, he's just getting paid now.
Well, that's good.
So then we cut to Oscorp, and